Hey guys, it's Clint Tigges here with Atlanta Rock Climbing Company, and I'm here today to talk to you about a survival essential kit. This is a kit that is typically referred to as a bug out bag, but this is a kit that I put together, and it basically lives with me in my car, goes with me on adventures, but it's a worst case scenario essential bag. And it has everything in here to give me between a range of, I'd say, a week, something like that, with the allowable food that I have in here. And this is also a summer bag. It's what I have equipped right now, just for the summer conditions. Right now it's beautiful summertime here in the south, so as far as some of the sleeping kit that I have in here, that I'll go through. It's basically set up just for getting you through the summer months, and then as the fall comes into play and as the winter comes into play, I'll substitute extra layers or also a bigger sleeping kit. That way I can survive the night. So let's go ahead and get into it. So this right here is the Sleeka 35. It's made by Snugpack. I really like this pack. It's got good foam padding. It's got a lot of storage on it. It's got some outer storage on it as well, and I like the color. So a lot of times, with a get home bag or a bug out bag, you want something that if you're going through the woods, it's gonna blend in, but it's not gonna look so militarized that it draws a lot of attention, especially if you're trying to be sleek or under the radar. So so right off the bat here, I have a sleeping pad. So this is the Z-Rest sleeping pad, and I'll talk a little bit more about how this integrates into my sleeping system as we move along here. But I like this one because it folds closed like this in a Z pattern, and I can store it on the outside of my pack, and it's also a discreet color as well. So I've had this one for a while and I've really enjoyed it, and it's really light as well. So alright, let's talk about what I have in the very top. So I like to organize the pack on things as I need. So say for instance, as I'm hiking, if I would need certain thing at a certain time, I'd like to have it readily available. So I'll work on the outside and I'll work in. So on the outside here, I've got a InReach Mini. So this is a SOS satellite transceiver receiver. So this is great for any instance where you just need to call the cavalry. You get in an accident, or someone in your party gets in an accident and you need to use it to contact the authorities and call a helicopter in. So these are really awesome. It's fully waterproof. It also has a rubber coating on the outside, so you can beat it up and you don't have to worry about damaging it. It works really well. Typically really anywhere, because it does rely on the satellite, but it does take a little bit longer sometimes when you have a heavy cloud cover, or if it's in a storm event, something like that. But even in the woods here, it's still going to work pretty well. So these are really awesome. I would check these out for sure. Alright, on the outside here I've got some ranger beads. So what these are used for, as you're navigating through the bush, you can use these to track your distances, and as you move through, especially if you're trying to get to point A to point B, these are super helpful. That way you can keep track of your distance without having to do it in your head. I really like these beads here. I like the quarters that it comes on. It's got a nice little clip. I can keep it right next to me, and I can use it as I move along, or I can take it and I can put it on my belt if I'm moving without my pack and I just have my SOS beacon and also, you know, a compass and map. I can just move through the woods pretty easy with this. Also, you can, in a pinch, you can take this apart and you can use this cordage for, you know, building a some sort of a shelter or using it to repair things, stuff like that. So, Ranger beads, super awesome. Also, I have here, I have a watch. This is a solar watch. I typically always have a watch on me that I'm wearing, but just in the case that I don't have one, I'd like to have a dedicated watch that's going to stay on this bag just in case I need to throw on, you know, just some clothes I have in my car. You know, if I'm going from work or something like that, I can go ahead and throw this on, and then I can tell the time. It's got a compass on it itself. It has an altimeter and barometer. It has its solar panel, and it tells the temperature as well. So this is a really cool feature to have on your pack. Alright, to the outside here. So I just have a couple ways to, you know, clip things to the bag in case I needed it. I have some extra cordage here on the outside, and this is in a bracelet form in case I want to wear it as I walk. That way I always have a little bit of cordage on me, just in case I need to use it to build a shelter or use it to put up a tarp, something like that. So, alright, on the side here, I've got a few things stored here on the side. So I've got some contractor bags. These are really awesome to have. One, you can use them in a pinch to make a shelter. You can use it to make a bedroll. You can stuff leaves in it and make yourself a mat in case you don't have one of these, or in case you just don't want to carry a dedicated pad. You can get inside this and make a bivvy out of it. There's just a ton of uses for this. You can make a poncho out of it as well. So I always suggest carrying, you know, and they're really light. Typically, I go for the black ones. I didn't have black ones readily available with me, so, but typically I'll do black just so it blends in a little bit more. Alright, and then here I have a poncho. So this is Snug Pack patrol poncho, and this poncho is really awesome. You can, you know, obviously it's big enough to where you can have your pack on, and then you can drape it over your pack to completely cover what's in your bag, also what's on yourself. In a pinch, you can also use this. I can make a shelter out of this as well, in case I'm using my dedicated tarp for something else, or if I just don't have it with me, I can always use my poncho as a shelter as well. Alright, on this side, I've got some survival cord. So this is some paracord, but the neat thing about this paracord is on the inside, it has a few extra things woven into the core. So it's got some fishing line in it, and it also has some steel snare wire built into it as well. So I really enjoy the survival cord for that fact, where it's just multi-purpose. So, and I usually carry about, I'd say that's probably about 100 feet of it, and it's a dedicated paracord, really just for setting up shelter, or you know, creating a shelter out of sticks and wood, something like that, or using it to, you know, hopefully maybe supply me a meal if I need it. Alright, next up I have a titanium water bottle, and it's already full with water. That way I can just pick up the bag and I can just start trekking if I needed to. The nice thing about this titanium is I do have a pot kit in here that I can boil water or make soup, something like that. But in a pinch, what I can do is I can actually fill this with dirty water, and then I can put it straight in the fire that I can boil water and give myself a nice little tea or a brew, so that way I can rehydrate. So highly suggest using titanium for anything, and the bottle itself is super light because it is titanium. Titanium is really strong. It's basically indestructible. So all right, and then on the outside, I've got just a small hatchet. So this is the Grand Brooks, I believe it's called the Wilderness Hatchet, hand hatchet basically. So it, whenever I'm, especially trekking around, I want to be able to move pretty quick. So I don't need anything super large. I'm not going to be processing a lot of wood unless it's winter, but I do have a hand saw in here that I can process a lot of wood. This is really used for like cleaning the sticks off of a ridge pole, something like that, or it's a tool used for just camp chores, making steaks, things like that. So I highly suggest Grand Brooks. I really like these brands. It's a great weight. These are all handmade, super reliable, and then they're super easy to clean the edge as well. They come pre-sharp, so they already come with a really nice edge, so you can use them right out of the box. And I also enjoy the sheath that it comes with as well. So highly suggest Grand Brooks. Alright, let's talk about the top here. So in the top, I've got a pair of sunglasses. These are UV sunglasses, and I typically will always have some on me, but these are some extra pairs just in case I break them or if I need them. I highly suggest carrying some sunglasses with you, because as you're in the wild, the worst thing that can happen is you get a lot of UV rays into your eyes, and then it does affect how you can negotiate the wild. So a pair of sunglasses is super important. All right. Up top I have a bandana here. What I like to use this bandana for, you have a lot of purposes for a bandana. One is I can put this over top of my bottle, and then when I go to put water inside my bottle, especially if it's dirty water, I'm going to be boiling this later. It's just it's a way for me to pre-filter the water. That way I don't get any kind of big dirty trash inside my bottle. Also, obviously you can use it as a hat. It can be used as something sort of bandage, and just super useful to have. So definitely pack a bandana with you. Up top I'll have some hand sanitizer up here. Here's a buff, same use. I can use it as a pre-filter, I can also use it as a hat, or I can use it as a net gaiter, and washcloth, any of those uses as well. So alright, I'll have a sharpening tool with me. This is a Work Sharp. I really like this brand because it already has some built-in angles with it, so as when you need to sharpen your knife, it's already got a built-in angle. That way it helps you keep the proper angle when you're sharpening. It's got a diamond edge for making your edge. It's got a fine edge for basically tailoring it, and then it's got a strough on the top here, so you can actually just polish your edge in case you just need to do that. And then it also has fish hook and also saw blade edge sharpener as well. So this is a really great tool, super light. I can change out these blades if I needed to later on. This always comes with me. I can actually use this for my axe as well. You can actually use it to sharpen your axe. Not the same way as a knife, but you can still use it to polish your axe as well. So highly suggest always, if you bring tools into the backcountry, always have a way to maintain the tools. All right. Then on top here, I'll have, I like carrying, this is a flint and steel, basically a ferro rod here, and it's in a necklace, so I can put it around my neck here or in my pocket, and it's got a way for me to make fire and it's also got the tool for me to make fire as well. So it's a neat little, cool little tool to have here. I'll have a headlamp with me. So this headlamp here, it's has a red light on it, has strobe, it has high beam, low beam, and it also has a locking mechanism on them. I do highly suggest if you don't have a locking mechanism, then using a case to put it in, that way you don't burn your batteries up. This one is the Actic Core, and it actually has a rechargeable battery in it. So you can, on the trail, you can charge it up, or you can just use regular batteries in it. I always carry a way to charge devices. I like having rechargeable devices, but also like having multifunctional devices where, in case I just can't get the sun, I have some backup batteries I can apply into this. That way, if I need to move around in the dark, I have that option. Alright, up top I'll have some electrolyte tablets here. And a lot of times you'll see on most of my stuff, anything round, I always like to wrap duct tape in it. Duct tape's super useful here in the woods. You can use it to, stitch up your pack. You can use it to build a shelter. You can use it for anything. Most of the time I use it to, tape. Say if I cut myself or something, I have a bandage and I can use it, and I can actually waterproof the bandage as well. So electrolyte tablets for sure. Alright, next I'll have a multi-tool. So this is just a Leatherman here, and I like this Leatherman. This is a Leatherman Surge. It has pretty much everything. It's got a knife on it, it's got a screwdriver, it's got a weight, it's got a little saw, it's got scissors, it's got some pliers. Pliers are pretty helpful, especially if you need to use it to, like say if you need to clean a wound, or if you need it to, fix a device, something like that. It also has a leather stitching tool on here. That way, if I needed to stitch something back on my pack, I have that as well. So I always have the Leatherman with me here. Alright, and then next up I have compass. So this is a Sunto. I really like Sunto's compasses. Been using them for a while. I started using them in Boy Scouts. Sunto is definitely a great brand to look at. I like this one because it does have a mirror on it, signal mirror. I could use this to signal, rescue, and then also if I needed to, use it to get something out of my eye, I have that as well. Alright, up top I have some some water filter tablets. That way, if I'm not in a super rush, I can use this to filter the water. I'm always going to try to reserve these. I have an actual dedicated water filter inside of here. These are really for emergencies. First off, if I can, I'm going to use the water filter. If I can. If I can't, then I'm going to try to boil, and then this is the last resort here, which is using the electrolyte tablets. Or sorry, the water filter tablets. Alright, I'll have a map here. I'm in the south, so this is basically a map for my area. And if I'm in a different area, then I'll change this to a different map. But this is typically just the map for my state, my area. Alright, I'll have a pad. That way I can take some notes. It's used really great for when you're doing navigation. It's a way for you to, as you're moving through the land, you can do a quick sketch of what you're doing, and then that way if you have to move around an object, you can hopefully calculate the distance correctly, and then get yourself back on the right heading, right? So super great, and this is it's waterproof, so you can write in the rain on this one. I believe the brand is called Write in the Rain, so super handy to have. So along with that, I'll have some pencils. That way I can write on that. Next up, I'll have some nails. So these are just typical small little just kind of carpenter nails. I'll usually carry not too many just because they're super heavy, but they are useful. You know, you wouldn't think like, why would you carry nails with you if you're not building something, but you have a nice hatchet here you can use, and you can hammer this in if you need to create some of your shelter, or if you need to just pin something on to something. Super helpful. So. Alright, next up here, I've got a lighter, and here I have the Exotac cover for it. So I really do like this. It waterproofs my lighter. It also has a way for you to, say if you're using the lighter to light the fire and you don't want to stick your whole hand in it, it does have a way where you can light it, and then it has a piece of plastic you can flip over the gas nozzle. That way you can lean out and you can light something without burning your hand up. It's got some tabs where you can tie this to your inside of a pocket or something like that. That way you don't lose it. And then I also have some chapstick also up here as well. Alright, so that's it for the very top here. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the meat of the pack here. So right up top I'll have some gloves. These are just some work gloves. And if you're going to be, you know, especially if you're just going to be working out in the woods, most of the injuries I've seen from being out in the woods is just injuries directly to the hand. And then once you do injure your hand, it takes a while to heal, and it's just really annoying because you can't use your hands really for anything. So anytime I'm working, doing something with tools especially, definitely going to have some gloves on. Alright, and these are also good for, you know, obviously if your hands get cold at night, you know, you can use that. Alright, I'll carry a small neckerchief knife, alright, and this one is the Moore knife, and it's a small mini knife here. So these are super handy. I mean, I can pretty much do everything I need with this. It's you know, it's a good size where I can make steaks, I can do chores with it, and I can also light a fire with it. It does have a 90-degree grind on the back, so I can use it to start a fire as well. So I've got this one set up in a cool little configuration. I've got it in the sheath. I've got a lighter taped to it, and then I've got some chapstick, and then it has its own dedicated ferro rod here. So I can literally just put this around my neck here, and then it lives on me, and I can have it basically wherever I am. So super cool little setup here. Alright, next up I'll have a first aid kit. Definitely bring a first aid kit with you. Whenever you're, you know, out and about, and you don't have a way to be able to treat injuries, can be super detrimental to your health. So I always suggest bringing a first aid kit wherever I go, regardless if I'm just going for a run or a short little hike. I always have a first aid kit with me. I've added a few things to this. These medical kits are pretty awesome. Adventure medical kits, they make a really cool kit. But typically I always do add more to this. Like for instance, I've got a SOS blanket in here. I've added some blister kit stuff in here, and then I've added some more small little essentials just to help for kind of unique injuries. So highly suggest Adventure medical kits. Alright, next up I have water filter. So this is the Sawyer Mini, and I've got 2 bags with it. That way I can filter right away, and then I can fill up these with dirty bags in case I'm camping or I'm staying in an area that doesn't have water. I can always bring water with me. Alright, and then I'll have a a chargeable battery pack. This goes along with the solar panel that I have in here as well. I try to always make sure that I have a full charge on it. That way I can recharge basically immediately as soon as I need it. Goal Zero is super awesome. They've been going with me since I've been backpacking, and highly suggest using Goal Zero. Super awesome kit. This is the Venture 30. They make bigger ones and they also make smaller ones, but I felt the Venture 30 is a good size and weight for what I'm going to use it for all the devices that I have in here. So, all right, and then I'll have a tarp. So this is my tarp shelter here, and I believe it's a 8x6 or it could be a 8x10, but this is a snug pack tarp, and I've already got it set up on a rapid ridge pole. So what that means is I've already got it set up with some paracord here. That way I can quickly just attach it to a tree and then stake it out, and I have stakes in here with it. That way I can quickly get out of a storm or underneath it in case I need to, or if it's super cold and I just need to get out of the wind, something like that. Already set up, ready to go. Alright, and then I'll have Sea to Summit reactor bag liner. So typically whenever I'm thinking about a shelter, the first thing you need to think about is you need three things. You need something to sleep under, so that is a tarp here, something to protect you from the elements, the wind, the rain. Provide a little bit of insulation in case you need it. You need something to sleep on, so that would be a pad, or you use your contractor bags, stuff leaves in it, something to get you off the ground. That way the ground doesn't suck the heat from you. All right, and then you need something to sleep in. Okay, so this one's pretty neat. This reactor, it gives you, I believe it gives you 8 degrees warmth. So this would be perfect. I could sleep out in just this right here, and all it is really just a thin blanket. It's also used as a bug netting as well. And then I can take this and I can actually put this inside of my super light sleeping bag that I have in here, and I can give myself an added 8 degrees of warmth. In the winter time, this definitely comes with me, and then I'll substitute just a slightly bigger bag with it. So these are awesome. Sea to Summit, if you like looking at certain brands, Sea to Summit's the way to go. Alright, I'll have a pair of rain pants. These are the Outdoor Research Helium pants. Super light, and I can just throw them on right over what I'm wearing, and it packs away pretty small. So next up, I'll have my actual bag here. So this is the Snug Pack Jungle Bag. I believe it's rated down to I want to say, let's see here, it says rated down to comfort of 45, so that's pretty decent for you know, the summer and fall. And then I can add 8 degrees to it with the bag liner here. So I'm almost there for winter now. Definitely this is a good setup for fall. You know, in a pinch, it's gonna keep you alive for sure. You may be cold, but you can also just wear everything you have with you to bed, and that'll add a little bit more. And then if you really do get super cold, what you can do is you can substitute this for just something slightly bigger. So also what you can do is you can make a little burrito out of this as well. What you can do is you can stack leaves on top, or pine straw, anything to just create a little bit more volume, a little bit more fluff, right? So if you're looking at a super light bag, Snug Pack, I love their brand. So, all right, next up I have a saw. So this is the Gomboy here. All right, Silky Saw Gomboy. Really love Silky Saw. I've been using Silky Saw for a while. This is a good size. I mean, I can process pretty decent sized wood with this. I mean, this is something I'm not going to be able to build a house with, obviously, but it's going to be something that I can use to process pretty decent wood, and I can really get a good roaring fire going. I can cut wood really fast with this. Um, you know, typically when you think about, you know, people out in the woods processing wood, people like to go to an axe, but um, the saw absolutely is way more efficient than just chopping wood. You're not going to wear yourself out. You're going to cut super fast. It's going to be some fine cuts as well. You're not wasting a lot of wood by having to cut it with an axe as well. So love the silky Gomboy. I'll have, you know, just a little bit more paracord. You can never go wrong with having, you know, enough paracord. So I got a little bit more paracord. I'll have an actual decent sized knife here. So this is the Moore knife. This is the fully carbon knife. It's got a full tang on it, so I can use this to hammer. I could use the back to strike a ferro rod. I can baton with it. So super awesome knife. Really been enjoying it. Comes out of the box just sharp as a tick. So really love their knife. I like the fit of it in my hand. Also like the color as well. So super cool. Sheath to go with it. Typically, as soon as I get this bag on, I'm probably gonna go for this. Throw it on my side just in case I need it. All right, next up I've got the Snug Pack Special Forces bivvy. So this is a waterproof bivvy, and it's used to basically engulf yourself in the sleeping bag with the liner inside, and then you get inside this like a burrito. This also can be used for using, you know, stuffing leaves inside of it and using it as a pad. You can also stuff leaves inside it and then get inside of it as well. So it's a pretty awesome little addition to the kit here. This is made by Snug Pack. Next up, I'll have the Gold Zero solar panel. So this is used for recharging my device. I can charge directly off of this, or I can hang this off my pack as I hike, and it'll gather energy from the sun and it'll help me charge my devices. Alright, some additions to the first aid kit is I have an Israeli bandage. So this is a bandage I can put over a wound, and then I can wrap, and it has some plastic adjusters. That way I can apply tension to it and hopefully stop bleeding. Then I'll have a trauma kit. So this is the Adventure Medical Kit trauma kit. It's got a quick clot in it. It also has a tourniquet in it, and it has some gloves and some duct tape in it as well. So never go, especially if you're going to be out in the woods playing with an axe or playing with saw. You definitely want something to be able to stop a bad hemorrhaging cut. So highly suggest bringing one of those with you. Alright, and then next up I'll have my fire kit. So in this fire kit I have an assortment of things. It's really 3 pieces of things to create a spark or create a flame, and then some kindling to go along with it. So with the kindling, I've got some fat wood. I've got some fat wood wrapped in some twine there. Got some fat wood dust. That's super helpful to just create a spark. I'll have a small little toolkit. This is used for, it's got some ratchet heads on it, and it's got a little saw. You can use it to pry things, and you could also use this to create some slats. You can use it to split board. So with that, I've got a small little survival kit. It's got 17 tools in it, and it's basically a credit card size. So it's got fish hooks, saws, some spears, anything you can use to maybe acquire some game or some sort of food, or go fishing, something like that. I'll have a lighter wrapped in duct tape. I'll have some waterproof matches here. It has waterproof matches. It's also got some cotton balls with some petroleum jelly on it, in a waterproof case. I've got in here, I've got a lens, a fire lens. That way I can try to create fire from directly from the sun. It can also be used as a signal in case I need to try to signal from the sun. It's got some cotton balls that I can fluff up, hopefully catch a spark. And then I've got a small little knife in here. That way I can use it to try to trim the firewood and make some hopefully make some some small little bits to try to catch a flame. I'll have a saw in here, a little hand saw, chain hand saw, and then I'll have an extra ferro rod in here as well. Alright, and then that's my fire kit. So I like to keep it in a MOLLE pouch, that way I can put it on my belt. I can attach this to my pack in case I need to make some extra room inside my pack. Super awesome little fire kit. Make sure you have 3 ways to start a fire, and then you have, if you don't know how to gather kindling, you bring kindling with you so you can quickly just make a fire. Alright, and I'll have a couple pieces of extra layer. So I've got a warm hat and some warm socks to change into at night. Those are my sleeping socks. If you can keep your feet warm and you can prevent you losing a lot of heat from your head, you're going to do pretty well. And then you can obviously get inside your sleeping system, and hopefully that will keep you warm enough through the night. Alright, surprise, surprise, I've got some more paracord here. Alright, I've got a radio. So this is a radio. It's got a little solar panel on the top, and you can also crank it down and use it to hopefully listen to what's going on in the world, especially if you're bugging out, or if you're just out and about and you want to try to maybe get the weather, or just listen what the local radio is talking about. So cool little piece to have. Alright, and then here we go, getting into some of the kits. So I've got some food ration bars. So these are enough for 3 days. Gives you, I believe, 3,600 kcals. So that's a good amount of fuel, good amount of food for you to just try to hopefully survive with. So with that, I also carry a lot of other things. So I'll carry some snack bars just to snack on as I'm hiking. I've got some soup, Lipton soup, chicken noodle soup. I believe I've got at least 10 or 12 packets of those. And then I've got some coffee. Gotta have some coffee in the morning. It's nice to just have something warm to drink. If you don't have coffee, maybe some tea or something like that. Provides a little bit of caffeine as well. Alright, I've got an assortment of just nuts that I can munch on. And then I have some peanut butter. Also in here I've got some tea. I've also got some caffeine goos, just so I can eat and keep me going. Alright, I'll have my cooking pot. So this is used for, obviously boiling water, or, boiling water for my soup here. I've got a small little frying pan. Inside of here I've got a small little lantern that I can keep inside my tent with me. It's battery powered, so I'll have some extra batteries, and these extra batteries are used for my headlamp as well. I'll have some hand warmers. In a pinch, you can put them underneath your arms or in your groin, something to, just to cut the edge, keep you from going into shock, especially if you're super cold. And then I'll have some salt. So salt can be used for obviously putting on your food, but it also can be used for salting things in case you want to use it. Like, say for instance, you want to try to prolong some food, if you want to keep it, you can always salt certain things. And then I'll have my pot here. So, alright, I'll have some baby wipes. So these baby wipes, it's really just nice to just clean yourself, make yourself feel human, give yourself a little bit more morale, especially if you're in a survival situation. It can go a long way. Then I've got some toilet paper. So I've got toilet paper, I've got some sunscreen, and I've got some body glide to keep from chafing or to use the restroom. Some extra toilet paper. Alright, I've got an assortment of some knickknacks. So I've got a syringe, and I can use this to clean a wound. Also, this is used to help back clean my filter in case I get a lot of trash in it or something. And then inside here, I'll have an assortment of things. I'll have a small little sewing kit in case I need to try to, fix something on my pack or my clothing. I've got spoon, some cordage, an extra charging cable, and then some just some little rags or something. So, all right, and then I'll have some candles with me. This can be used for just keeping inside the tent or the shelter, providing a little bit of warmth, and also some light. It's beeswax, so you can use the beeswax for all kinds of different things. You can use it to waterproof things. All right, and then along with the rest of my first aid kit, I have a sand splint here. Sand splints are used to create a splint, so in case you've hurt your arm, if you need to create a splint for you to some stability in case you broke your arm. Also your leg. It can also be used to wrap around the neck in case you have a spine or neck injury and you want to stabilize the head. So highly suggest adding a sand splint to your first aid kit. Alright, and then the last thing I have is just a set of playing cards. So this playing card set is pretty neat. So it's not only a playing card set, it's also has survival information on each one card. So if you can flip through it as you're just hanging out in the tent or just hanging out at night. Sometimes when you're surviving, there's periods where you're just sitting around not doing anything. So it's nice to give yourself a little bit of entertainment, and also it provides you a little bit of information in case you just can't retain it in your head. So, so that's the gist of my my kit here. So, over the years, I've done a ton of research, used different things, and put together, I think, a pretty well-rounded kit. If you have anything that you have in your kit that you think I should add, or that you've used that's been pretty handy, please give me a comment and let me know. And also just comment, like, subscribe, goes a long way. One thing I highly suggest when you're putting together a kit is not only putting together a kit off of research from what other people have done, but also just research on other survivalists, is go out and use this equipment, get used to using it, get familiar with it. That way you're not having to teach yourself in the survival situation. You already know how, you're already proficient with it, and you already know how to use it. Highly suggest that. So yeah, so thanks for watching. Give me a comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video. Alright, see you guys.